My name is Nick. Back in the 90s, I worked at UNLV, Thomas and Mack Center, home of the Running Rebels. And during that time, we hosted the Spice Girls. Now, there were three things when an act came to town that would be done as far as feeding the crew goes. Number one, the act that comes in can opt for the Thomas and Mack Center cooking the food, which was a good thing because everybody ate. The local crew ate as well as the road crew. And a lot of acts did that. Ozzy Osbourne, Garth Brooks, several acts, very cool people. Then you had the second option, which was to bring your own cooks, and usually that meant that hopefully they would feed the local crew, and most of the time they did. The third option, which was chosen by the Spice Girls, was to bring their own cooks and just cook for their road crew, which really didn't sit well with their road crew because the food they brought back from England was all blasé English food, and they hated it. And in fact, they complained. They thought they were going to be able to eat American food, but they wouldn't feed the local crew, which in a way was good because their crew would call their food gruel. That's what they were getting, gruel. Anyway, every 15, 20 minutes or so, in the meantime, the backstage door would open up and in would walk somebody with all this fast food. And it wasn't even good fast food, like chicken. They got chicken from Kentucky Fried. Instead of going to El Pollo Loco or Polo Polo for burgers, they would come in with McDonald's and Burger King instead of Fat Burger or In-N-Out Burger. And even Mexican food. They would come in with Del Taco and, really crappy Mexican food. And this was coming in the door every 20 minutes or so. And just lots and lots of food. Anyway, we're going to get back to that. The reason I despise the Spice Girls, and you will too, is because that day I was working the freight elevator. Now, the freight elevator went to the ground floor, and it went up to the concourse, and it went down to the backstage area. Now, at one point, I had to go up to the ground floor and pick up 5 kids who were dying of cancer. They looked like they were dying. There were 3 teachers with them, and the youngest girl was about 8, and the oldest boy was about 12, and there were a couple of girls, another boy in between. Well, I went up to the ground level and got them, brought them down, and now they had to hunt for the Spice Girls. So they finally rounded up the Spice Girls, and you could tell just by their body language, oh geez, why do we got to do this shit? But they came, and one little girl who had roses and a long blonde wig, because obviously she was having chemo, was giving the roses to the top Spice Girl, whoever she was. And they stood there, yeah, thank you, oh, thank you. And these kids were so happy. They were dying, but this was the biggest day of their life. So, okay, now the Spice Girls are busy because they got lots of food to eat. And, so come on, kids, let's go back up. So I closed the door of the freight elevator, and there's a little window, and I can see Victoria Spice tossing the roses in the garbage. That was okay. The kids didn't see that. But as they walked by the elevator, They were going, "Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't stand this shit. Why do we got to do this? Did you see the wig on that kid? She could have mopped the floor with it, for crying out loud." And they were laughing. I turned around and they were all crying now. All the kids were crying. Tried to make some excuse. Didn't work. These kids were devastated. These kids with cancer were devastated. So, okay, went back downstairs to the backstage area. I grabbed a couple of roses to bring home to my girlfriend. And we all stood around wondering what the fuck was the problem with the Spice Girls. Why couldn't they even be nice until they were out of earshot? But they couldn't be, because they were pigs. And they treated everybody like pigs. And here's the kicker. Now, as far as the food goes, after the concert and everybody was gone, housekeeping went in and they said they threw away enough food for over 25 people. They threw it all away because the Spice Girls didn't want the other guys, the road crew, to have it. I just don't understand that, but that's the way it was. Now, this happened in the mid-90s. If you were there and you witnessed this, please leave a comment or something. Let me know. I mean, it took me such a long time to get to this video, but I had to do it before I die. I'm 74 years old, and please leave a comment. And if you happen to see this and know the Spice Girls, tell them that the kids with cancer that you laughed at were all crying. You made kids with cancer cry. Okay? And I just want you to know that, so pass it on. Thank you for listening. This is Chucky, and I'm taking him for a walk. Have a great day. Thank you.